have some.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some podcast. My name is Craig Goldberg. Welcome to the show. Joining me, as always, my co-hosts, Abigail Gardner.
Hey, y'all.
And Jacob Walsh.
Hi. Wait, say it. Try it again.
Jacob Walsh.
Okay. That was it. That was right.
That was it. That was good.
Do it better.
Well, it sounded like you stumbled over it the first time, and I was like,
know your name. I've been learning.
Stumbled.
There's no stumble.
He secretly doesn't know your name. That's why he got it wrong.
For some reason, it feels like we haven't done this in a long time.
Yeah, it's weird.
But then on the other hand, it feels like
all we do is podcast.
I podcast every day.
Yeah.
It never ended. We've always been podcasting.
It runs through our blood. Hey, before we got started, Jacob, you mentioned that you had called me late last night.
Some breaking news, yeah.
I did, yeah. It was like midnight.
And I don't recall
Podcast
this,
news.
but Abby says something happened, and I told her don't even, because it sounded like it was going to be funny. But all right, what happened? What time was this?
We just established that Jacob called, and it was like 11:30 normal time.
It was around midnight, I think.
That's normally when we start our conversations.
Yeah, we pick up.
Okay.
Well,
however,
No, I was just saying. I checked. This sounds crazy when you say this out loud, but I looked at our group. I looked at our group chat and it said you were online. So I was like, oh, okay, he's awake. So I didn't think you were asleep. So
Cool.
That sounds like a stalker thing.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
We respect that your courtesy call.
I looked through the window. I checked. Well, I looked through the window to make sure you were up, and it looked like you were still staring.
Quietly.
Did you count the seconds between my breaths to make sure I wasn't having a sleep issue?
Oh wow!
As we mentioned on Toy Anxiety this week. Hey, no, really quick, what happened?
Okay, here's what happened. You called. Your phone rang on my side of things. Basically, Craig's phone rang.
Yeah,
and you had already been snoring for probably 10 minutes.
Right.
And you rolled over and flipped /knocked the phone off. And you said,
"What?
Guys, I can't."
Guys, I
can't. Was just like probably you were thinking it was the group text going off or something, but it was funny to see your true, like, while slumbering true thoughts coming out.
I can't.
I can't.
I pushed it off I can't even think. Old phones. The phone went onto a
receiver.
A receiver.
Yes.
Like a base of some sort.
The basin of the phone.
The basin.
You knock the basin off.
Okay. Well, I couldn't at the time, but now I can. See, I think what happened was I know Ryan Dole went and saw The Flash last night, and I think he went pretty late. And I remember earlier in the day, I was like, call me when you get out. I want to talk to you about it. And then probably in my half asleep slumber,
which you're not accountable for that.
I was like, I can't. No, I can't talk about The Flash. It's too late. But anyways, welcome to the show, everybody. I think that about covers it. I think we can maybe wrap it up now.
We can do another one in 3 weeks.
That's the newest thing that we have to cover, so we kind of did it.
Let's recap a little bit. Last week was Ghostbusters Day. Thank you to everybody who joined us for Ghostbusters Radio Live. Today just so happens to be the day we're recording this, the 34th birthday anniversary of Ghostbusters 2. I've already watched it twice this week. So maybe that's my normal. Like normally I watch it twice a week, but I'll have to do a little three-peat. Jacob, how are you celebrating Ghostbusters 2 Day? Will you watch it today?
Well, I made my light pink. It's usually blue.
There you go.
It's usually blue, and every now and then it's green. And I said, hey, let's make the light pink. That's it though. I'm just chilling. I might watch. I watched it I think I had it on last week and watched it all the way through. But yeah, I might throw it on later.
Okay.
I don't know. There's a new season of Black Mirror. Did you guys know that?
Did not. That's cool.
There's a new season, and I watched the first episode last night.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
great.
It's great. But the only thing is that I'm a little nervous about it because, first of all, it was very funny.
Okay.
Which most Black Mirror episodes are not.
Right.
It also had like a happy ending, and I think like in the history of all of the Black Mirror episodes, there's only like 2 that have like a happy ending.
Well, the one with the pig.
That was like a fairy tale ending.
For the pig.
For the pig, yeah. Oh, for the pig's perspective.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
It was his birthday. But so it confused me. I was like, oh, I hope they're not like completely changing this and they're all going to be fun. And I like the fun episodes, but
Right.
I want Black Mirror to be like what it is at its core, which is like really dark and Twilight Zone and,
Disturbing.
scary and disturbing and just really fucked up. I like those episodes because nothing else is doing that. Everything's funny. Every fucking show is trying to be funny. So I hope the whole season's not going to be like that. Usually it's like one in a season. I was surprised that it was the first episode. It's like, oh, this is funny.
You're looking for something a little bleak.
I mean, that's just what you're accustomed to if you're watching Black Mirror.
Sure.
It's like the point of the show.
It's to like make you kind of uncomfortable and question things.
Right. Well, and also because there's layers of satire within it. It's usually, and I haven't watched all of Black Mirror. I haven't watched a lot of it, but I've watched enough of it to know that you're right. It's usually not outright funny. So, and
there's a few that are like the Star. I don't know if you guys have seen like the Star Trek episode.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This reminded me of that. It had those kind of vibes. It was like a serious thing happening, but it was also kind of funny most of the way through.
Wait a minute. Was Jesse Plemons in the Star Trek episode? Am I remembering that correctly?
That's a good ass episode.
Dang. I want to rewatch that. Okay, so Black Mirror's back. Ghostbusters 2 having a birthday. Abigail, how are you celebrating?
I'm celebrating by wearing this goddamn Ghostbusters t-shirt today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Probably watch the movie,
It's an easy, fun, rewarding watch of a movie, I've always said. So, and next year will be obviously the 35th anniversary and then the 40th anniversary of Ghostbusters. Tune in to all of our coverage from Ghostbusters Day last week. A lot is happening in the world of Ghostbusters, and then you can join us live every other week for Ghostbusters Radio Live. Let's get into a couple news pieces. I do want to address off the top The Flash. The Flash is out. Michael Keaton is back as Batman for this week. There's a lot happening in the world of Batman. Abby and I have seen it. Jake, you have not seen it yet. I'm sure eventually at some point we will all get our thoughts down about The Flash, but there's going to be plenty of coverage, plenty of reviews. I know Ryan Dole on Gotham City Tonight will have coverage of that, but we're not going to dive into any spoiler territory or anything like that. We want to give everybody a chance to see it, take it in, and I think this is kind of interesting. For me, I'm so accustomed to this. Watch the piece of content, take it in, react immediately, review it. You got to sit with things a little bit. Because I have Jacob, I have a history.
Yeah. I was pretty sure I knew. I think I told you when I asked you what you felt. I was like, you and Abby have the exact same conversation every single time I ask you guys what you think of a movie. It goes the same way.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
You think we have false positives?
No, I think Craig does. Well, what it is usually I'm like, what did you guys think? And Craig will say it was the best movie he's ever seen. And then Abby, you're usually like, well, it was okay. And then Craig gets mad at you and he's like, well, last night you said you loved it. So that's how it is every single time. Like,
and then the phone rings and I go, I can't right now.
Yeah.
So here it is. I figured out part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a problem. I love going to a movie theater. I love seeing a movie. Sitting in that room with a crowded room of DC fans, IMAX screen.
You're not
popcorn's flowing.
This sounds awful.
Yeah.
To me, it's like an event. But listen, I liked The Flash a lot. I really did like it. I think there's hyperbole out there. I think people saying it's the greatest superhero movie of all time. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Let's sit with it. Let's pick it apart when the time is right. But I hope everybody goes and enjoys it because there was a period of time where movies weren't coming out in theaters and you were sitting on HBO Max watching new movies, and that's not fun. Don't let anybody convince you it's better to stay home and watch a movie.
It's not.
It's not.
That's true.
So that's my...
Thanks, Nicole Kidman.
Thanks, Nicole Kidman. She honestly saved the movie industry and cured COVID.
Yeah, for as much shit as I'm talking, I do want to state that I love going to the movies too. And that can kind of color my experience in that if I have just a really good overall time, I might like the movie more, and then later on realize it was a forgettable
if you want to go back to December 2019 and find my reaction to Rise of Skywalker, okay? Go find that. I'll have you convinced it's better than A New Hope and Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back. Like 3 days later, I was like, but was it? I'm arguing with myself. Okay, so yeah, Flash is out. Jake, did you check out that Boogeyman movie? Did you make it out yet?
Not yet. I'm gonna go maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
What I'm thinking about doing, because I also haven't seen Spider-Man yet, which I don't think you guys have either.
No.
Dude, I know. I've got the visual effects crew mug. Thank you, Ryan. But God, I'm such a bad fan right now. I haven't seen it.
Well, so what I was thinking about doing is like, hold on. I was thinking about it in my head, and I was like, hold up, Boogeyman, Spider-Man. That's a perfect double feature. Go see the Man double feature. Boogeyman and Spider-Man.
Back-to-back man.
I'm not doing a triple.
Have you ever done a triple?
I'll see Flash in a couple years when I've cooled on Ezra Miller.
Yeah, has anyone ever done a triple? Sorry,
I've done a triple. I've done a triple.
You have?
I think I have, but I'm not. I mean, whenever the first Avengers movie came out, I sat in a movie theater all day and watched the entire first.
The first leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
wave.
Like it was Incredible Hulk all the way to Avengers that night. So it was like 8 movies or something.
That's cool.
Hey, speaking of that, Incredible Hulk's finally on Disney Plus. I guess the rights have reverted back to Disney. Everybody talks like they know what that means, but nobody does. We just know that the Incredible Hulk's now on Disney Plus.
It's on Disney.
Well, what that means for the future of the Hulk, nobody knows. We were going to talk about this before seeing the Flash, but I think we should just at least mention it. The elephant in the room, the Ezra Miller situation. Here's the deal. Jake, did you look for an elephant?
Are you talking about me?
It's that Bill Murray movie.
Yeah, Larger Than Life.
Larger Than Life.
I think that if anybody who chooses to not go pay money to see this movie because of Ezra Miller, and we don't need to go into it, we all know the story. Mm-hmm. I think that is perfectly legitimate. That is a personal decision that somebody makes based on like their core values, and we all have to like draw a line somewhere. And I don't think there's anything wrong with drawing a line. Like, this is one of the core. This is a really hard thing that I don't know if like generationally, previous generations had to deal with this conundrum just as much, because back in the day, everything just got swept under the rug, and it doesn't matter who was a piece of shit. Everybody just moved on. But now people are held accountable. Things are more public. We've had this discussion before about separating the art from the artist, and like it can be really hard. I think it's tough because like everybody has flaws. Everybody goes through things in their life. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, and a lot of mistakes people make, you can get forgiveness from and come back from. And we've seen people go through really tough stuff in life and come back. Like Robert Downey Jr. went through really tough times and addiction and things like that, and bounce back. But I think the Ezra Miller situation is completely different. There's violence against women. There's violence potentially against children.
Also, multiple times. It's not just like, it wasn't just hey, I got drunk and did really stupid shit. It was like 6 times. Kidnapping.
Yeah.
He kidnapped somebody.
I heard. Yeah. So I think I'm not really trying to generate a discussion around this. I'm just saying that like, if you're a listener or a watcher out there and you're feeling uneasy about it, like that's okay. Like Abby, do you have anything to add to that? I mean,
no, I guess so. First and foremost, I'm a moviegoer. I care about seeing big movies. And when it came to this movie, I've said on the show that I wasn't excited about it. It's because of like the person that Ezra Miller has showed themselves to be. But I still saw the movie, and I can sit comfortably and say it was a really good movie, and it was a really good. I like Andy Muschietti. He did.
He's great. I want to talk about him in a second.
Yeah, but it's like a personal choice. However you feel, like whatever your history or relationship with, abuse and things of that nature is, like just whatever you're comfortable with, I'd say is
Right.
the right choice. I know that James Gunn was raving about it. Stephen King loved it, but it sits with wherever you are with it.
I kind of, Jake, I'll let you talk on it. I kind of wish, I get why they didn't, because they basically tried to promote this movie without Ezra Miller at all. It wasn't involved in, like, first of all, there wasn't, besides trailers and stuff, there's no late night TV right now because of the writer's strike. So, but Ezra's not out there doing interviews. They were at the premiere, spoke about it. Kind of, it's just a weird situation. I kind of wish WB would have come out and say, hey, we're donating a portion of the proceeds or the net gains to survivors of abuse or something like that. But also from, like, they're not trying to draw extra attention to it. So it's like, that doesn't mean they shouldn't have done it. They should have done it. But yeah, I don't know. I think artists from the art is a really, like, it's something I've had to deal with personally with musicians that I really love. And
who?
Like some, well,
so I know there's a lot of, I'm just curious who you personally like.
I mean, so two of my favorite bands of all time, Brand New and Saves the Day, both have fairly problematic singers. You know, the Saves the Day stuff was kind of weird. I don't know the full details, but the stuff with Jesse Lacey from Brand New came out. There was stuff of you know, some grooming type stuff and some inappropriate relationships with younger fans, and you know, it was stuff that maybe happened 15, 20 years ago, but it still happened. Yeah. And you know, people have to be held accountable for that kind of stuff. But I would be lying if I said, like, I still listen to them. Like, I'm not, they don't, they're done basically. It's not like, if they came in concert, I don't think I would go. I mean, I definitely wouldn't, but you know, and it's not just musicians. It happens with actors. It's happened with, I mean, fucking Elvis was not great. John Lennon was, you know, probably not great. Like, there's people that are worshipped in popular culture who have a dark side. And I mean, Michael Jackson, like, he was a king, self-appointed, but still.
Yeah, I don't think you can even speak blanket statements to this subject. I think it's literally personal. Like, however you're feeling about it is how you should feel about it.
O.J.
If
Simpson.
you don't go for that decision and because of that reason, then I respect that. If you go begrudgingly and end up thinking it's a decent movie, that's also something not to feel bad about.
Right.
Jacob, I just think it's weird. Yeah, I just think it's weird. Like, this all is so fresh. It's weird to me that it's so fresh. It was happening while they were making the movie.
Right.
The studio kind of comes across as greedy, and they're like, "Hey, let's hide this and pretend it didn't happen, so we don't have to cancel our movie." That feels weird. The shit with Jonathan Majors happening also feels weird because he's fucking done. You know, one thing was said and he's done.
Right.
Ezra Miller has, like, he's a menace. Or they are a menace, you know what I mean? And they have, like, had multiple things, but now they're starring in the biggest movie that's out. It's just like it feels weird and icky to me. It's too fresh. If an actor was a piece of shit 20 years ago, and they've, like, atoned for it, or you can tell that they're a better person now, then I'm not gonna, then that, okay, that's what people do. If you do something shitty and you admit to it and you change, then okay. Right. Ezra Miller has not changed in 6 months. It just hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What'd you say? Their hair's a lot longer? Their hair's a lot longer. So it just feels weird to me. Like, I'm going to see the movie at some point. Might be a long time. There's no way I'm going to sit in that movie theater and not be thinking about that the whole time. I don't want it to cloud it. You know what I mean? Right. If I want to watch it, then I want to watch it.
So I'm going to give a warning to our listeners, Ab.
Yeah.
60 seconds of two things that might be considered spoilerish, but I just want to say them because I think it's part of this conversation.
Okay.
So skip ahead 60 seconds. First one, there's literally a line in the movie where at one point Barry Allen goes, "Look, sometimes in the world, people are just pieces of shit." Like, that's a line in the movie. And it literally took me out of it. I was like, oh, God.
That makes it worse.
Yeah.
You're making light of it, or making a joke out of it? Okay.
2, I think they're done. There is the way that they buttoned up this movie. It does. I think Ezra Miller is done as the Flash.
Sure.
I do not think one.
Mm-hmm.
I do not. It would be, for me, it would be one thing if it felt like, oh, they're setting up 4 more sequels with Ezra Miller as the Flash. I will be the most shocked person in the world if that happens, especially with James Gunn taking over and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Abby, anything on that before 60 seconds is up?
I mean, that's a fitting ending that I could agree upon, or at least feel comfortable with. Is the movie's out? A lot of people worked on it. There are parts of it that are worthy of seeing, I'd say, and I think for the road ahead for Ezra should just literally be therapy and recovery,
get
and
right,
whatever. Just not being in a situation
be
where
held
you can harm
accountable
people.
for the things.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, you can cut off spoiler time now. If Ezra Miller's up at that premiere talking to a crowd about to premiere this movie, there's victims out there, and that's always a thing where
that
it's
says
like
a lot, speaks volumes to
it's
those
fucked
people
up.
that it doesn't matter.
But anyways, that's enough of our very special episode of YHS. Unless, Jake, do you have anything else to say on that specific topic?
No, except for like whenever the whole like separate the art from the artist thing.
Right.
I don't think that's possible. Like the art is the artist. Like whenever it came out, hey, I used to really, really love listening to Marilyn Manson. When it came out that he's a rapist, I stopped listening to it. I don't listen to it anymore.
Right.
Like your personal like, oh, but I like Batman. That's bullshit compared to what people have gone through because of Ezra Miller. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
like
it.
Marilyn Manson. Okay, yeah, but he rapes people.
Right.
So I don't know. The separate the art from the artist thing, it just seems like a cop out to me.
Well, I 100% agree with you. There's nothing you're saying I don't agree with. I think for me, the circumstance of like, I don't know. It's hard. I haven't even been able to pick it apart in my brain.
I think it's a case-by-case basis.
I think it's a case-by-case basis.
Well.
Abby, you have anything else on this one?
And no, I mean, just I see both sides as someone who's been on the other side of being a victim of things. I think that they should be believed and protected and respected, and that justice should be served because that's what should happen.
Well, justice is gray, Abigail.
Yeah.
I want to try to lighten this up a little.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's real. It's
But
tough.
it is real.
And
It's tough.
it's dicey, but all I know is I'm not here to tell anybody what to do.
Yes.
That's your own decision.
Yeah.
But I am. And I'm telling you to get over to patreon.com/yeshab.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I'm just
Christ.
no, I'm not.
If you're still listening,
I think this is really important discussion. Someone's got to have it. I mean, listen.
Hey, WB's not having it, apparently.
There's a lot of channels out there.
DC's not having it.
Right. And I get it. It's and I wonder too. I'm not even going to go there. It doesn't matter. What matters is we love movies. We love talking about this stuff. And you got to kind of address it because it's out there. So we fucking did it. On a lighter, more positive note, I did enjoy the movie, and I think Andy Muschietti is a great director. Obviously, he did both the It movies. We covered those really extensively. Can you guys believe this? I've only seen chapter 2 of It one time. I got to watch that again.
yeah,
You should.
I'm gonna. I've been having cravings as I'm listening to The Stand. Taking walks during the day, it reminds me a lot, certain moments of It. And I'm like, I want to go. I want to watch the first and second.
Here's an underrated fact. His first movie, Mama, I saw that in theaters.
Good for you, dude.
Do you like that movie?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I also saw it in theaters.
Yeah. Number 3, it was announced last night Andy Muschietti will be directing Brave and the Bold, which is going to be the Batman and Robin movie for James Gunn's DCU. Jacob, what was your first reaction to hearing that? Is that something that excites you?
Sure. I mean, good for Andy. It's weird knowing that he came from a place of horror and you know, his first like 3 or 4 movies were all horror. And now he's going to he's the Batman. He's DC's director now. That's so weird to me. But yeah, I say good for him. He seems like a good dude. And I know, you know, some people, you know, our friend John Campopiano, he has a little bit of a working relationship with Andy and everything I've heard, you know, him and his sister that he works with, I forget her name, but they work.
I was just watching an interview.
Barbara.
Barbara.
They sort of work together. They seem like down to earth, cool people. So I'm happy. I'm happy for them.
Yeah,
They do. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Having seen The Flash, I will say all of the Batman stuff, specifically, this is not a spoiler because some of it's been in the trailers and stuff. The Ben Affleck stuff, it's like a different. It's Ben Affleck playing Batman, but it's not the same as the Zack Batman. This is like, I thought the way he handled all of the comic book action sequences, the special effects, and the story and the pacing. I don't think he would have been my first guess,
right.
But I think it'll be great. I also think part of the deal was when. Can we come into my corner real quick? Can I tell you my theory? I think this is what happened.
Okay.
James Gunn takes over DC with Peter Safran. They watched The Flash. They probably thought it was going to be a train wreck because everything in DC.
Like I did, yeah.
Everything in DC is.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh shit, this is really good." Okay, Andy Muschietti, here's the deal. We're ending this universe. You did good on this one. We'll promote it. We'll talk about how great it is, and we will help you. And then you can come into the new DC and start fresh with Brave and the Bold. I think that's probably what it was. I would anticipate that going into viewing The Flash for the first time, James Gunn was not anticipating seeing something good because that movie was in development for like 10 years. It had a bunch of writers and directors in and out. So yeah, good on Andy. That's awesome. I can't wait to see, I'm excited about the new DCU. So
good.
Yeah. Abby, anything else on that?
No, I'm ready to move right along.
What the fuck?
No, I mean
DC sucks.
it doesn't.
It's never been good. It's never been good.
This doesn't exactly cleanse the palate of all
there's
the
7
DC
years
stuffiness.
of us. Yeah, there's 7 years of us talking about how much we hate DC movies.
Yeah.
Every now and then there's one we like. We all liked the Batman. There's been a couple you guys have liked that I haven't liked. But overall, we have done nothing but talk shit about the DC universe, Zack Snyder, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
so
here's what I want to
care.
say.
I hope it's good. I hope it's good.
3 YHS DC moments. First time ever. Number 1. The second time we ever tried to record an episode of Yes Have Some, for some reason, we were going to do a review of Man of Steel 5 years after it came out. The record button.
What?
Do you remember this?
I don't.
It was in the lead up to.
I don't remember though.
So
I remember it because it was an early episode, and I think I was putting together like notes for it, and I made like joke notes, like this is a dumb movie with like couple pictures. Like,
listen,
why were we doing it? 5
we
years
weren't
after that?
sure what we were doing.
No, that's not why.
Okay.
It was because Batman vs Superman was about to come out, so we're like, oh, let's do a Man of Steel review.
Okay.
We had recorded one episode. We got like 30 minutes in. We kept having awkward pauses. None of us knew what to do or how to talk.
Because the movie sucks and we didn't know how to talk
That's
about it.
a key factor. Like liking something helps you talk about it.
There was so we just didn't do it. So that's my number 3 DC moment for YHS.
Okay.
Number 2.
Wait, how many are you doing? I thought you were doing 5. You're doing 3.
Oh, I said top 3.
Okay.
I think number 2, God, I don't remember what. I think it was when we were going to review the Snyder Cut, and Jake, I have to go back and find it, but like in the middle of the episode, Jake, you had a little bit of a moment, and you stopped everyone, and you were like, "Why the fuck are we still talking about the kind of like what just happened a couple minutes ago?"
Yeah,
it's really funny. I have to go find it.
Oh,
well, I don't really love hate watching or hate reviewing things, like, so that kind of falls into that category of if I hated it as much as I hated Batman versus Superman and Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 84 and all the other fucking pieces of shit.
Hey, Snyder Cut was better than the regular version, but I still like a.
It was more black and white. It was longer.
Listen,
it was
number 1. The number
What's
one
Old Testament
YHS DC moment. Then I swear to God, we'll move on. The last movie we all saw together before the fucking pandemic
Oh my God. How did we survive that? How did our friendship survive?
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey.
That's what caused COVID. Was the negativity
Oh,
from the three of us watching that movie turned into COVID.
Absolutely. It was released.
I barely remember. The only thing I remember from that movie is Ewan McGregor said something that made me laugh.
I forgot he was in it. I remember a roller skate fashion show montage.
Yeah,
I remember him changing accents like halfway through the movie.
Oh.
And I remember I was like, wait, what? Did they
So
film
fucking
this at way earlier?
Halfway. Change. Pivotal change.
Okay.
Yeah,
so we can move on.
DC. Cool.
Hey, so we got something kind of fun coming up. This was Abby's idea. It's a summer blockbuster fuck budget where we pick a movie. We pick the top 5 movies from that summer, gross box office. We do a fuck budget for it. It's like a draft. It'll be fun. But that'll come up in a little bit. But I wanted to talk about, we have to mention these release dates. Jacob, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you on caring about Avatar these days?
Is it only 1 to 10 or is there a negative part?
You go
of the
negative.
scale?
You go
Negative as far as you'll let me go. I don't give a fuck about Avatar.
I don't know one person who does. So, but so basically Disney announced a bunch of release date changes, and I think there's a lot of reasons. Part of this is that they like to announce things like years before they happen, and then things like writer strikes and actors getting arrested, and all these things happen. So, but I thought we should address it because there's some interesting Marvel and Star Wars news in there. Let's see. Disney has significantly shuffled its release schedule. Okay, Captain America: Brave New World, Thunderbolts, Blade, Fantastic Four, and the next Avengers movies, and Avatar 3 all pushed back, I should say.
Slicked back. They're all slicked back.
They used to be pieces of shit. Hey, okay, they changed the name of the Captain America movie. It was New World Order. Now it's Brave New World.
Yeah. Well, it's because they didn't want to have to fight with Hulk Hogan.
That's like you're gonna lose that fight.
It was rumored.
I'd rather watch that movie. The movie would do better if it was just Captain America, New World Order about the Avengers fighting the NWO.
It'd be awesome.
Like
Six Pac's in there, not Six Pac, but who the fuck was Six Pac and
Hall & Nash and Hogan.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
They bring Macho Man back.
I always thought it'd be funny to do a movie with pro wrestlers as like actual superheroes.
Yeah.
Okay, little problem. Wrestlers are not always great actors, but
true. But people.
John Cena.
That will add to the fun.
Dave Bautista. Correct myself.
Okay, that's 2.
That's only 2.
That's only 2.
That's only 2, and
I would not consider Hulk Hogan a good actor.
That's only 2, and I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I love Dave Bautista, but both of those are questionable if they're actually good actors.
Hey, sure, he's really good with physical acting.
He's good at being Drax. Have you ever seen him like have to actually recite dialogue?
Blade Runner 2019.
You have not fucking watched that movie.
I have watched the first half of that movie.
It's not called that. That's not even what it's called.
What's it called? Blade Runner, the new
2019.
The Awakening.
The
Blade Runner 2003.
All right.
Holy shit.
So funny.
I like the original Blade Runner.
The one Dave Bautista's
not in. Okay.
God damn it. Have we ever talked about that publicly when
I don't want to?
No. When we were shamed.
We can't.
No.
We were once shamed by a notable figure for not having seen Blade Runner 2019, apparently.
So I've got it up there, but I just haven't.
Yeah, that's all right.
What? Yeah.
He can come on the podcast someday.
We were talking about something before this, though.
Yeah.
Release dates.
Pushing back these movies.
So here's the main thing.
This makes me wonder. So San Diego Comic-Con is happening in like a month.
Right.
And it makes me wonder what the Marvel panel is going to be. If they're like pushing everything back, like, or are they just going to get up there and be like,
dude, I got it.
Well, it's coming.
Jonathan Majors dunk tank.
Oh, God. Okay.
Let the people decide. I say dunk him. I don't know. I agree because they've announced here's what I think it's going to be.
Far out.
Maybe they announced like the Fantastic Four cast there. Maybe it's not movie announcements. Maybe it's a cast reveals.
We got to fill an hour.
Teaser trailer for Deadpool.
Yeah,
because that's filming right now.
Okay.
They'll do something.
Yeah, we're going to be there. They have to do something.
They better.
So they know that we're going to be waiting
For
outside the
us.
halls.
Okay. Here's the big news. So both the Avengers movies pushed back a year each. So Krang Dynasty. God damn it.
I'd rather see that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
My
I'd
Avengers!
The Krang Dynasty.
not the Krang Dynasty, but the King Dynasty.
Well, that's not
And,
happening, right?
Secret Wars both pushed back. But we
Is
got
it
some
still,
it's still as of today still King Dynasty.
but it's not. I think that's the reason all that Marvel stuff is getting pushed back so far is because they're trying to figure out
Sure.
what to do there. Yeah.
Probably.
Mhm. Pivoting. Mm-hmm.
We've got release dates for our Star Wars movies that were announced at Celebration. We had speculated 25, 26, 27, but now it looks like the first two, one will be in May of 2026 and then December of 2026. And then another one the next year, which is
That's pretty quick for 3 Star Wars movies.
pretty quick. And it kind of seems like they're going to go back to that possible shift in wanting multiple Star Wars movies in 1 year. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think good movies are good movies and people will go see them. Just make them good. You can put a Star Wars movie out every 3 months. If they're great, people will be happy and go see them.
Well, we're going to go see them if they're bad too. So
Sounds like
it's
something.
a win-win for
We
them.
won't be
Yeah.
happy. Yeah.
I think the Daisy Ridley movie will be first, and then the Dave Filoni movie. There are rumors, and you guys aren't going to want to hear this, but I just have to. It's my job to bring this up.
Okay.
Should I take my headphones out?
No,
Okay. I should stay engaged.
you should stay
I don't
here.
want any spoilers.
No, not spoilers.
Oh,
Rumors.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're not going to give you. There's a rumor out there, okay, that Alden Ehrenreich might reprise his
Nope.
role as Han Solo.
Hold on. He was hot in Cocaine Bear, though. I liked it.
It's weird that they would be like, hey, we need to kind of right this ship a little bit. Let's bring Star Wars back to the movie theater. Let's bring back that Solo. It's the worst Star Wars movie in existence.
It's
So-
too soon.
Let's bring it back.
The rumor was that they were going to have Leia and Han would both be part of the Dave Filoni movie, and that they would bring back Alden Ehrenreich and recast Leia. Obviously, who knows? Maybe, probably. I'm gonna guess probably not. But then again, just putting this out there, this is a movie that is going to be they're basically. It kind of sounds like they're gonna try to right the ship, like Jake was saying, and have maybe even a trilogy of movies. If it's going to be Heir to the Empire, a true sequel trilogy in that era of post Return of the Jedi, can you do that without Han Solo and or Princess Leia?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
It's a fucking whole galaxy.
Right.
They don't have to be there.
Mhm.
Okay.
But I mean, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll
If
fucking
someone's
see.
got a story,
I'd
that's
rather them just deep fake them at this point. Is that insane to say? Like after seeing the Luke from the Boba Fett episode
Right.
of Boba Fett, or the Mandalorian episode of Boba Fett,
Right.
Mhm.
that's what I want. Just deep fake it, make it look like them. Don't recast it at this point. Just let somebody else. Just fucking let a computer do it.
Mark
no
Hamill's
new
gonna-
actors.
Mark
That's
Hamill's gonna-
All AI, please.
That seems like a crazy thing to say, and maybe I would see it and then get mad and be like, "Why didn't they just recast them?"
I think it's hard.
But right now, I'm saying let a computer do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can be done. I think roles can be, obviously they can be. We love Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor. It can be done.
Mm-hmm.
If it's written well and directed well, then it doesn't matter if they're bringing back an actor from the worst movie. Like you're right. If it's done right, it will be okay. Even though that guy has 0% Harrison Ford Han Solo inside of him,
Zero charisma.
maybe somebody can pull it out of him.
No, he's got low riz. That's what the kids say. No riz.
Oh.
Short for
God,
charisma.
dude, we don't.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm keeping up with the TikTok culture.
Don't
Hey,
do it.
Mark Hamill's gonna be like, they need to recast me. I'm done playing Luke Skywalker. I think it's a Harrison Ford problem. I think a lot of actors can be recast, including Mark Hamill. It's really hard to recast Harrison Ford.
I guess.
Well, yeah, and they already ostensibly failed with doing Solo, so it's like it hasn't been that long to where it's in a nostalgia pocket. So it's just too soon.
It's not like
yeah.
There's
Jar
not.
Jar we welcome back with open arms, but I'm not sure about old
who.
Well, there was
Jar Jar Binks as
Jar
Ahmed
Jar
Best
Binks.
in
There
The
you go.
Mandalorian.
Jar Jar Binks as Ahmed Best.
Okay,
There's
some of those little swappies sometime.
That's funny.
But there
You know
was
what I
a
meant.
giant. There's a giant side of the Star Wars fan community that grew up with the prequels and always loved it.
Right.
Is there a giant
No, because they
section of the
haven't
fan community
aged
that loves
yet.
Solo? I don't know. I'm sure some people do.
Jake
but
Stevens' kids only.
they don't like it.
Okay, so we've gotten more Star Wars movies coming. I'm a little bit bummed because the plan is to be at Star Wars Celebration in Japan for 2025. I was thinking it was going to be a movie year. It seems like we're going to still be a year out, but that's okay.
It's okay because we're going to be in Japan.
They can't plan everything around us. They should.
They should try better.
They should try. So we'll have more on that. As far as Marvel movies, I don't keep up with release dates anymore. I usually find out about 2 weeks before. I do keep up with release dates, but things get changed and moved so often that until you're like within a 3-month window, like it kind of doesn't matter. It feels like.
Well, fucking one of the shows comes out next week.
Secret Invasion?
Yeah, Secret Invasion. Also, the Righteous Gemstones comes out
Sunday.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I know, that's what we should be talking about.
Oh my god!
Yep, I am excited for that. I was bummed. They're doing a monster truck pop-up Righteous Gemstones thing in California. I thought it was in Georgia.
Oh, that sounds like such a Georgia stadium thing.
I saw the CA for California. I thought it was a GA. It was a serif fonts like Times New Roman, and there's a little doesn't matter.
CA.
It was California. Okay. I prefer sans serif. You don't confuse your C's and your G's, but
I don't like Sam.
Yeah, it gets
I hate
everywhere.
sans serif.
All right.
Okay. Let's move on to our one last little piece of news here. And normally we're not the biggest Walking Dead fans in the world. I haven't seen an episode since season 3.
Damn it, we're from Georgia, so we were excited.
I haven't seen an episode since right around the time Negan came in and killed everybody, and I stopped watching.
But we do want to talk about Walking Dead, Dead City, I believe it's called.
Wow, cool title.
It's a whole city of the dead. This is one of the.
Let's put dead in there again. Let's put dead in the title twice. It's
Why don't they just call it Walking Dead?
4 words. Let's make 2 of them dead. Walking Dead City makes so much more sense.
Yeah, the Walking Dead City.
It sounds like a casino.
Walking Dead
What it sounds like.
Walking Dead City.
Take your family to Walking Dead City.
Okay. This is a spinoff. I think it's not the first spinoff, but I think it's the first one to drop since the first show ended.
Yes, I think so.
It's a legacy sequel.
Yes, the long storied legacy of Walking Dead. The reason we're bringing this up, so this is, I think, a 6-part series. This is Negan and Maggie. We do know that friend of the podcast, star of Ghostbusters Afterlife and the upcoming Ghostbusters Firehouse, Logan Kim, is in this show.
Mm-hmm.
And the early reviews are he's pretty damn good in it. And I wanted to bring that up because I'm excited for him.
Of course he is. I wasn't really planning on watching the show just because I dropped off of Walking Dead. I don't know, what feels like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I will be watching the premiere this Sunday because there's going to be a special presentation by Joe Bob Briggs, and he's going to do an episode of The Last Drive-In. He's coming back to present the premiere episode. So I'm going to check it out this Sunday and see what the fuss is about.
Ooh, all the fuss. I want to watch it too.
That's pretty cool.
I want to see,
So we know that Logan is playing the son of Maggie and Glenn. I think the character's name is Herschel.
Love the characters.
And I'm excited. Walking Dead, Logan hasn't done a whole lot besides Ghostbusters. Obviously, he's only 16 years old, so he did Afterlife. He's filming the new one, and this will be his next big foray into a big IP. Walking Dead has a huge fan base. I'm excited for him.
Yeah.
Maybe when the show's over, we can have him back on and pick his brain about what being in Walking Dead, Dead City, Dead is dead.
Deader.
Deadest
Walking
city.
Dead, Deader City.
Deadest
The
city.
deadest city on the dead planet.
Dentist City.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Walking Dead Dentist City.
Yep.
They got great teeth.
What's worse, the zombies or the dentists?
Time to do your drills.
The dentists are fixing all the zombies' teeth, so they're better at eating people.
Okay.
Low
Having trouble eating people? Go to the zombie dentist.
zombie.
That's on a billboard.
dentist.
Yeah.
Guys, come on, take this seriously, okay? It's Walking Dead. Hey, Jacob,
Congrats to
a lot of
Logan
people-
for real,
a lot
though,
of
on
people
having
died.
a lot of people
ongoing
died.
success from Afterlife.
I agree. I'm happy for him.
Jake, so The Walking Dead will be on AMC. Where is Joe
So,
Bob doing the
I'm a little confused about it. It said that there's some. I think AMC and Shudder are owned by the same.
Okay.
I think it might just be on Shudder, but one of the things I saw said you can get like a free trial to AMC. I don't know if I need to have AMC as well, or if I
right?
can just watch it on Shudder. I think they're I think they're partnered.
Perfect. I got to share this image. This is so funny. I just saw this on Twitter.
What are you just browsing Twitter while we're recording?
Yeah, dude, while we're talking,
Look at this picture. Keith David and John Carpenter just hanging out, taking a selfie, taking a blurry selfie as any 80-year-old man would do.
wow.
No, I was
That is the most animated John Carpenter has been in a photo in 50 years.
Yes.
he's actually
Got
hand drawn.
one eye open.
No, I was on
Great.
Twitter. I was looking up the premiere date or the channel for Dead City. But anyways, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about other than horror icons. Actually, Keith David started a movie with Glenn from The Walking Dead called Nope. You should watch it. Last little bit of tangentially related news. Why do I try words that I don't
It's okay. It's
have
good to
100%
try
of a
words.
grasp on?
Keep trying them.
That's how you learn, Craig.
That's how you
Yeah,
learn.
you will get it.
We go to Halloween Horror Nights every year. And I think we got our first official announcement for a house.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We always kind of predict what the houses will be. The first one is going to be The Last of Us. Not sure if it'll be based on the game or the show, or probably both because they're almost identical. But roundtable, real quick, Jacob, does that excite you?
Sure. I think it'd be fun. And it's also, I feel like we saw this coming. This was a no-brainer for a house. I think it's fine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet you we're gonna be seeing some of those clicker clackers on their knees sliding out. Go click 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 click.
Yep.
I can't clicker clackers. Yeah, I can't wait. I love the show, and I can't wait to hear Ellie or whatever her name is, like shouted through a house. I was like, wow.
Yeah. All the voiceovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that. I mean, also the aesthetic for that show is very cool. I love like the kind of beautiful mixed with the disgusting.
Hey.
and all that.
I bet there'll be more zombies in that house than there were in the show, though.
I hope Ron Swanson's in it.
I hope there's a room where you get to eat strawberries.
Dude.
Oh my God. I hope there's a whole room with a window. Oh God.
Heartbreaking television.
Oh.
It was great.
Okay.
All right, let's move right along here. Before we get to our first ever 1994 summer blockbuster fuck budget, I want to talk about YHS on Patreon. I tried to do it earlier, but the timing was not in. It was inopportune.
Wasn't a good segue.
Wasn't
a good look on Craig. Yeah.
So true.
Well,
So true.
7 years of this. Gonna get canceled eventually. Yes, have some on Patreon. That's right. It's patreon.com/yes have some, where you and your friends can get all of the extra bonus content, audio, video. I started doing these video updates. We do extreme toy anxiety every week as a bonus audio and video episode. We are going to be doing more and more exclusive Ghostbusters content, things we can't talk about just yet, but we'll be letting everybody in on some exclusive stuff here sooner rather than later, I will say. And also, you have a complete archive. Abby, tell them what they're going to get for $5.
Oh, the archive. Wow. Yeah, it's chock full of stuff. Good stuff too. You'll hear some of our early work, as well as just the more popular classics from YHS. Yeah, if you sign up, you get so many bonus episodes that, like, if you have a trip or a commute, or like just you need to
say a commune. If you're in a commune,
it's great. Please take these pamphlets. No, that's a cult. Okay. Definitely please do sign up for our Patreon, because we do put a lot of work into it. We have put a lot of work into it over the years. It's the best way to support us, and you can just enjoy yourself. If you're enjoying this, it's just more of this.
Yeah, and exclusive access to the YHS Discord as well, and the YHS exclusive Patreon, Instagram. There's a lot of stuff. As Jacob Walsh likes to say, it's too much. It's too much. And you can learn more about that at patreon.com/yeshavesome. Okay, let's move on. It's been a while since we've done a fuck budget. This was Abby's idea. So we're going to see how good this goes. And then if it's great and you guys love it, we'll do a different.
You vote if we keep it or if we 86.
We'll do a different year every throughout the summer.
We'll do summer of 86.
Listen, it's a writer's strike. We got to come up with content. Our writers are.
Yeah, we're making fresh evergreen content.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so Abby, explain the 1994 summer blockbuster fuck budget.
Well, yeah, I mean, I figured it would be fun to talk about summer blockbusters first off, because we're kind of in that time right now with big movies dropping, superhero movies,
Indiana Jones coming.
Indiana Jones, yeah. So what I was thinking was we go back to one specific summer from one specific year, and then find the top 5 highest grossing films from that year. And from those 5, we choose and allocate our 10 fucks.
Okay. And this is all based on summer movies only. So I think it's like.
Yeah, we decided, I thought it'd be fun to go with 1994, spin back to 1994 and have that be our year.
May 1st to August 1st. Okay. Let's get into it, because we're almost at an hour already. Let's do it. Okay, 1994. We have the summer movie fuck budget. We will go. I'll go in backwards order. I'll go 5 to 1. Okay. If does that work for you guys? Will that screw you up?
No, I can do that.
No,
you can do that. Okay. So these are the top 5 highest grossing summer blockbusters of 1994. How many fucks do each of you give? I'm going to play along too. We each have 10 fuck bucks to work with. You cannot overspend your budget. You cannot use a credit card. Here we go. A YHS.
Not going to need one on this.
Can I use my Klarna?
No Klarna, no payments, no payment, no,
Okay.
none of that.
All
okay.
Right.
All right. Number 5, the 5th highest grossing blockbuster of 1994, raking in $111 million that summer alone. Keanu Reeves, Jeff Daniels, Sandra Bullock. The movie is Speed. Abigail, how many fucks?
Speed. 6 fucks.
Holy shit. Okay.
I give this movie 6 whole fucks. Yeah, the number of the beast. It's a good it's a good number of fucks. It's like shows the severity, or at least like how much I care about this movie in comparison to the other movies that are in these categories. Keanu Reeves was one of my first like original crushes. I wrote about him in my diary and looked up the meaning of his name and all of his facts and bullshit. So I had a lot of investment in just him as an actor and caring. I love The Matrix.
What's the meaning of his name?
I think it's a cool breeze in Hawaiian. And so, yeah, I've always loved him. And Speed was a movie that I'm sorry about my cat. I'm going to try and get her to chill out. But Speed's a really great movie that I didn't see until my adulthood. And when I watched it, Sandra Bullock is just so charming, and Keanu Reeves, the two of them have such great chemistry and sexual tension. And the movie is completely over the top. It has the opening scene in the elevator is why Craig is afraid of elevators, I believe. Like when I watched that, I was like, okay,
no way, I'm not afraid of Craig also means cool breeze. I'm fine.
I don't think so.
I think I'm better about elevators.
Coke Zero
recently.
Breeze.
Okay.
The little psst.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I love you.
Okay.
So Speed's a movie that I gave more fucks about than any others. I like bombs. I like high stakes. I like car chases and a lot of action. And when we're talking summer blockbusters, I feel like that's just like.
Well, real quick, it's also one of the greatest premises of a movie of all time. bus goes under 50 miles an hour, it blows
It
up.
explodes.
Yeah, everybody.
It's simple. It keeps you engaged the whole time.
Yeah. All right.
It's creative too. I love all the fun maneuvers to get people off and how people break down and show who they really are, and it's great.
Jake.
I gave all 5 of these movies. I gave 2 different numbers.
Okay.
Because I wasn't sure if we were supposed to do it based on what we thought in 1994 when we maybe saw them.
Oh, interesting.
Or now. So I
Okay.
did both. And but I'm also going to go ahead and give a little bit of a spoiler that this is not a very exciting list for me.
For you. Okay.
Either
Yeah.
way, these are all. Anyway, number 5, Speed. In 1994, I saw this in the theater, and I only gave it 1 fuck because I was very bored by. I didn't care about a bus. When 1994, I'm like 9 years old,
Yeah.
and if there's not monsters or dinosaurs or something, then I don't care. Action stuff doesn't get to me. But the reason I gave it 1 fuck is because the knife in the ear in the very beginning, stayed with me. Like I thought it was fucking insane. I was like, I saw it in the theater as a 9-year-old, and I was like, this is what I'm about to watch. I'm about to watch a movie where people just stab each other in the head, and nothing like that really ever happens again. But it freaked me out. Now I would give it 2 fucks. I think it's a good movie. I do enjoy it now. I can sit through it and love it, but it's not really. It's still on the lower level to me.
So
1 and 2 is what I'll do. It went up a little bit.
I do want to mention this movie was directed by John DeBont, who went his next movie after this was Twister.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other Twister crossovers in this movie, most notably Alan Ruck,
Right.
who's great. He's great in Twister. He's got some great one-liners in Speed, like, I'm at the airport. Yeah, so I've already been to the airport.
Yeah.
So funny. So good.
Yeah, Conroy.
I was all in on Keanu Reeves. I was obsessed with Bill and Ted. I was obsessed with Point Break, and I was obsessed with Speed. So I'm a, easily 5 fucks for me. I really love Speed. I like Twister more, but I think it's fun. It's silly. It's unbelievably unrealistic, and Dennis Hopper is great. The whims of a madman.
Dennis Hopper's amazing.
Much like Jake, you said the knife or whatever it was into the head stuck with you. Dennis Hopper's head getting ripped off at the end also stuck with me. And one of the things I noticed as a kid, the bus is like the main part of the movie, but it's the whole second act. But there's a whole third act that people forget about where they're on the train. It's like elevator, bus, train.
Yes.
And then you move to the second movie, and it's cruise ship, and it's stupid and boring, and nobody cares. So, okay. That was the number 5 grossing movie of 1994. Let's move on to number 4. This shows how much the world has changed. The Flintstones. Now, let me take you back real quick.
Yeah, get that cast up.
This was such a big deal. Like, Jake, do you remember how big of a deal the promotion, the toys, the tie-ins?
Yeah.
Do you have memory of this?
Yeah, vaguely. I remember thinking it was cool that it was Rick Moranis, and I remember all the toys, and I remember all the, like, I don't know what fast food place had like the cups, but I remember having all the cups and some of the toys and stuff like that. But I also feel like almost every movie had that shit back in the 90s.
That was the time period for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when it comes to the Flintstones, starring John Goodman, Rick Moranis, Rosie O'Donnell, Kyle MacLachlan, and a bunch of other people. How many fucks do you give then? And how many do you give now? I like that.
You're asking me?
Yeah, Jake, you first.
So then I gave it 2, and it was 1 for Rick Moranis and it was 1 for dinosaurs. But I've never liked the Flintstones. It is never, none of the cartoons I was ever into. It was never my thing. I gave it 2 when I was a child. I give it 0 now. I do not fucking care about the Flintstones. It's like not ever a movie that I'm going to be like, oh, I want to watch the Flintstones. It's a great cast, but it's just not mine. It's just not my thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Very fair. There you go.
Noted. Yes.
Abigail.
Well, here's where I'm coming from. the Flintstones cartoon, that and the Jetsons were like regular scheduled programming for me and my brother to watch growing up, because we watched Cartoon Network. So the Flintstones was just something that I knew almost every episode. I really liked Wilma, and I liked the show. It just like had a fun creative space in my head, that a world that I could like play in and think of, and kind of inspired me. I liked how they had everything like we did, but it was the rock version or the quarry or the whatever stone version. And I thought that was funny. A little writer in me was like, that's cute. So when the movie came out, when the live action film came out, I was, just to go back into my history, I was not allowed to see it because it was like, a worldly movie. And I remember being like, what the fuck? Like, I can watch this cartoon, but I can't see this movie. It's ridiculous. So
especially since the movie kind of tries to replicate the cartoon, but it's not that different.
So childhood me would give this movie 2 fucks out of the interest that I had in it and my desire to see it and the fact that I didn't see it. Adult me gives it 0 fucks because the movie sucks. It's not a great movie. It's pretty
we got the same numbers.
It needs editing. Yeah, you and I, when we do adult us and child us, it's a good way to do this. So yeah, that's how I feel. It does not hold up. Rosie O'Donnell is not Betty. Not what I wanted.
You just walk up
Not my Betty.
Not my Betty.
You're not Betty. Get over it.
You're not Betty.
Hey, also Rick Moranis is not Barney. Like John Goodman is the best casting for Fred.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Perkins is good. I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys. At the time, all about it. It was the next big movie to come out. 94 was, I can make an argument 94 is the biggest movie year of my life because you got Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and Ace Ventura.
We were all 9 years old, right?
All that
94.
year. We're all
Those are the movies we should have done a fuck budget over.
Yeah.
The good movies of 94.
Hey, Jacob, that's what I said we should do first. I hand selected 5 out of the 20 that would be more relevant, like The Mask and
all right. Well,
Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah,
Start over.
Exactly.
Let's take this from the top.
Okay. We can move on. I love all the marketing tie-ins and I love all the toys and everything.
Yeah, and the toys I remember specifically when I first started getting really into collecting like 6, 7, 10 years ago, maybe. I just saw there was an abundance of Flintstones toys, and that was just not that I bought them, but seeing them was part of my process.
It definitely fits into
the toys are cool too. Sometimes I see the toys in vintage stores and I'm like, hey, those are pretty cool, but
there are times there's certain movies that you looked forward to as a kid and that you saw in theaters and it gave you that little feeling of like, oh, is this not good? I've been looking forward to this for my whole summer. Happened to me at Flintstones, happened to me at Godzilla 98, happened to me at Bill and Ted Face the Music, which I was not a child. I was just really sad.
That was 3 years ago.
2020 me gives it 3 from.
Also, I'm pretty sure
I loved it.
You loved it the first time you saw it.
I am 100% sure that you have some of the bags of soot from hell in our living room still on display from that movie.
I'm the only person here who has
2019 was weird.
Screen used Bill and Ted props, which I would love to sell, but there's no certificate of authenticity, so it's just a bucket that there you go. All right, moving right along. I have a feeling I know where this is going. The number 3 highest grossing film, 130 million, 1994, True Lies. Abigail.
0 fucks. Sorry, Arnold. That's who's in this movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it, so I'm all out myself on that. But I'd have to say 0. And that's why in the future...
there's 2 Arnolds.
Who's the other Arnold?
Tom Arnold.
Oh, Tom. Okay, I've seen Tom Arnold. I can speak to that at a couple conventions. Wasn't sure why. But yeah, I'll back out and say sorry. I have to forfeit. I haven't seen it.
Okay. Jake, any thoughts on True Lies?
Yeah, my number is the same in 1994 that it is now, and it's also the same as Abby's. And I've seen this movie, and I don't like it. It's 0 fucks.
I remember liking it at the time. James Cameron directed, Jamie Lee Curtis, Arnold Schwarzenegger. But you know what? Yeah, it's whatever.
Cool.
It's we can just move right along.
Awesome.
It's fine. It's a fun action movie, but not making a long lasting impression. And also, I'm kind of down on Arnold these days. You know why? He said some unkind things about our good friend Jason Reitman.
He did.
He did. He said, Jason Reitman fucked it up. It was going to be great. Twins 2, cruise control.
That. I was like, you're not bringing up something real.
I mean, that was
it
all.
Really did happen.
I'm literally quoting
Well,
it exactly.
I guess he fucked it up.
Okay, moving along. Ooh, 234 million. Cultural phenomenon. Number 2, Jacob Walsh, Robert Zemeckis film, Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump.
Yeah, 1994. I would have given it a 0 as a kid. Like, you don't care about. I just don't feel like you care about that stuff when you're 9 years old. And I'm only going to give it 1 fuck. And it is a good movie. I think Forrest Gump's good. I've seen it a few times, put it on here and there. And like, it was kind of I don't know how groundbreaking it is, but it feels like it was an important movie in the history of movies. It's something people talk about a lot. So I give it 1 just for that, but it's not like a movie I'm going to own or be like, I'm in the mood to watch Forrest Gump, so.
Okay.
I don't feel like I can. I feel like it deserves at least 1, but I'm not going to give it more than that.
Okay, I've got thoughts. Abigail?
0 fucks.
Jeez.
0 fucks then, 0 fucks now.
Wow.
This is a bad top 5 movies. It's bad.
Yeah, let's just say
what does it say about America?
1994. You better do better.
Hey,
right?
Fine. Fuck it. I'll just say it. I love Forrest Gump. It's one of my favorite Tom Hanks movies, and it was groundbreaking. I loved it as a kid. I had the VHS. I watched it as much as I watched Ghostbusters and Back to the Future. Haven't watched it in a long time.
Did not. Did you? Much as you watched Forrest Gump.
It
lot.
As much as you watched. So what was when you wanted to start a Ghostbusters podcast, how come you didn't just do Forrest Gump? What kept you from doing a Forrest Gump?
The competition. There's a lot of
they're so similar.
There's so many. Dude, you got Gumpcast, okay? You got Life is Like a Box of Audio. You've got
oh, you're doing this.
I'm listing all the current Forrest Gump podcasts and YouTube channels. Oh, there's my favorite. What's it called? There's that one. I got that. There's that one where it's just like, your mama sure does care about your education, son. The podcast. Listen, I did love Forrest Gump. I loved it as a kid. It was one of my family movies. Family watched it all the time. So it was like, we're putting Forrest Gump on. I also loved war movies. So it has like the Vietnam part. And Abby just like rolled her eyes at me. I don't know if
you like Vietnam War movies. Okay,
I love Vietnam, man.
I was force-fed World War II.
Hey,
movies, so I'm like,
listen. If somebody who's like legitimately a war film fan heard you say, yeah, I really like war movies, my favorite's Forrest Gump, they would shoot you.
Yeah, Forrest Gump has got a real like representation.
It spends 10 minutes in the war.
I also
it's 3 hours long.
You watch Dunkirk.
There's more time dedicated to Dr. Pepper in that movie than the Vietnam War.
Yeah, it's also, I think that's why as a kid, when I finally saw it, because there was so much surrounding the movie, it was like everybody was talking about it and doing impressions. When I finally saw it, I was like, this isn't real. Like nobody could like do
no
all
one could
this.
do all
no one
this.
could do this.
No, not one man could do all of this.
I don't believe it. Yeah. And so for that reason, I guess.
Well, people don't understand. Kids now would even like, back in like middle school and high school, people would just be like, anytime you're like running somewhere, running to your locker, somebody like, run, Forrest, run. It was a thing. It's actually very insulting. But I like it, and I do like Tom Hanks. So I haven't watched it in a quite a while. But also, here's another thing. I was a huge Robert Zemeckis fan because I was obsessed with Back to the Future. So I was like, dude, Zemeckis brought the heat on Gump, dude. That's what I would say on Gump, dude. Dude, Zemeckis straight up. He went in there, dude. He was throwing fastballs, man. You were like, oh shit, was that John F. Kennedy? Whoa, did they get a shrimp boat? This movie's all over the place. All right, let's move on. Last one. Number 1, 260 million. Saw it in theaters. Did not care about it, but pretended I loved it because everybody else did. But I could totally say now, 50 years later, however long it's been, I don't care. Lion King, number 1. Jake, I'll start with you. Where does this fit in your Disney pantheon?
In 1994, 3 fucks maybe. I was into it. I thought all the music was good. I liked it.
Good songs, yeah.
2023 0. I don't know. It's a fine movie. You know, I have not watched Lion King in a long time. But if I did have to like rank Disney musicals, it'd probably be higher up. You know, it'd probably be in the top 5. So I don't think it's a bad movie. Also, as an adult, I can respect the fact that it's like a retelling of Hamlet, which I think is cool. So yeah, I was much higher on this movie in 1994. Probably 3 to 0, 1 out of respect, but it's not. I'll never rewatch Lion King. I'm never gonna want to put that on.
I'm gonna be a mighty king. Abigail.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd go see the musical. I'd love to see the stage musical.
I'd love to see.
I've seen the stage musical. I saw it when I visited Ireland as a teenager, and I remember thinking it was pretty neat.
Yeah.
I would say childhood me gave this movie 2 fucks because I was obsessed with Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and he was the voice of Simba. And it's like I wasn't allowed to watch Full House, so at least if I could go see the movie, I could hear his cute little voice or whatever.
Oh, that's funny. I don't remember being on Full House.
Did I say Full House?
Yeah.
Again, oh my God. What's that show called? Home Improvement?
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to watch either of them, but hey, I watch them now. And the point of this is to say, like, yeah, the movie was like a cultural phenomenon.
And the songs are good.
The songs are really good. They're still good when you revisit them. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? So good.
Wait, you're right. The
Circle
song.
of Life. I played that at a piano recital like in 95.
Surrender. Sorry.
Elton John.
Yeah, you're right. I actually do care about I probably care about it more than I thought I did now that I'm thinking about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. There's the fuck budget. Let me real
Got through
quick
it.
before we end this, I want to highlight other great movies of 1994. Clerks, The Crow, Ace Ventura, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, Interview with the Vampire, Wes Craven's
Hold on.
Nightmare.
What the fuck have we been doing?
That would have been such a better lit. Like, all of those movies are great.
All right, so we'll do it. This is what we'll do. Instead of doing top box office, we'll pick 5 great movies from the year
Yeah.
for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll do 94 again. We'll do
YHS selection.
YHS's summer blockbuster. This movie came out in November of 97. Well, tonight it's August of 94.
Yeah.
But that was fun. I think people enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right, so
A lot of zeros.
covered a lot of ground. The Mask was number 6, by the way. Interesting that The Mask made more than Ace Ventura and Dumb and Dumber.
Those are the 3. I'm glad those weren't on the list. Dumb and Dumber, 10 fucks.
It's so
Ace
good.
Ventura, 10 fucks.
Mhm.
The Mask, 9 fucks.
Right. The Mask is, yeah. I think I think Jim Carrey could pull off a sequel to The Mask in the way that I think Michael Keaton will be able to do Beetlejuice. Like, I think he could probably just get back into that.
I hope so. Yeah.
We'll see.
That'd be nice, yeah.
Abigail, final thoughts on, we covered a lot of topics tonight.
Yeah, we did. It felt good actually to like get a good jog of I don't know what I'm trying to say, but we covered a lot of ground, is what I'm saying. And I miss doing it. So this is fun, even if the fuck budget sometimes doesn't turn up as much fruit for us. It's always fun to like plow through it.
Yeah.
And take the strawberries to give a reference back to
You just said plow through the fruit.
I like doing it. Okay, whatever.
I just think we should do like 10 to 15 more minutes on Ezra Miller.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would just really make this better.
That would really
Really
lighten
be
the
more
mood
fun.
here at the end.
Better than Ezra, recasting The Flash. A new
Oh.
documentary series from Yes Have Sub.
Too late.
Yeah.
Hey, I know it's the tail end. We talked about it briefly. Actually, we didn't. We let's just get this out in the open. We were in England last couple weeks ago. Last week,
We were.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks.
And I think most of people saw us in England. We was like, oh, look, they're at a castle. Oh, look, there's England. There's London.
Big clock. on the side of
Look
the
at that
building.
big clock. And it was an awesome trip, and we can't wait to talk more about it.
Mhm.
Down the river, down the line.
Mhm.
Sure.
Once we plow through the
Once
fruit.
we plow through the fruit.
Plow through the fruit to get to
But
the
I don't want you guys to-
dinosaurs on the
I don't-
other side.
Yeah, I don't want
Yeah.
anyone to think that we're like like, what's going on with those guys? Why aren't they talking? Like, they tell us every single thing that happens to them.
Yeah.
Some things we have to keep close to the heart and the chest, and then we'll speak them at the proper time.
I like that. Jacob Walsh, final thought from you?
No.
Okay. Well, then we should end the show. For Abigail Gardner, Jacob Walsh, my name is Craig Goldberg. Thank you for joining. Fuck, I gotta learn how to talk. I gotta learn how to talk. Thank you for joining YHS Podcast. Make sure that you are subscribing to the channel if you're watching this. Making sure on your end that you are also hitting that like button, hitting your notification bell. And if you're hearing us on audio, like the old days, the old classic way of listening to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your feed, make sure you go ahead and leave us a 5-star review and spread the word. Tell a friend. We got a lot more coming. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Out through the fruit to get to
but
the
I don't want you guys to,
on the
I don't,
other side.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to think that we're like, what's going on with those guys? Why aren't they talking? Like, they tell us every single thing that happens to them.
Yeah.
Some things we have to keep close to the heart and the chest, and then we'll speak them at the proper time.
I like that. Jacob Walsh, final thought from you?
No.
Okay. Well, then we should end the show. For Abigail Gardner, Jacob Walsh, my name is Craig Goldberg. Thank you for joining. Fuck, I gotta learn how to talk. I gotta learn how to talk. Thank you for joining YHS Podcast. Make sure that you are subscribing to the channel if you're watching this. Making sure on your end that you are also hitting that like button, hitting your notification bell. And if you're hearing us on audio, like the old days, the old classic way of listening to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your feed, make sure you go ahead and leave us a 5-star review and spread the word. Tell a friend. We got a lot more coming. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.